going back to you're talking about, you get quite emotional about the hardware rather than the software in the vehicle. They sell excitement at the moment. It's a one-off moment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, in the past, how much contact as an end customer did you have with your OEM?
Yeah, when you buy
at the beginning, when you bought it, and every time when you needed the workshop.
Yeah,
that's it. I think this definitely changes. You have additional services that you can use throughout the lifetime of the car, which are provided by the OEM. Things like they are simple but nevertheless they are available. Like for example, the concierge service of BMW. You're just searching for some target. You want to enter it in the navigation. You don't find it. Okay, you could park on a parking place, take your mobile phone and ask Google. But you can also just ask the concierge service.
Right. Okay.
So there are definitely a lot of services that you are using throughout the lifetime of your car, and this will definitely create a different link to your OEM, and maybe at the end it will be something like the link that people have with the vendor of their mobile phone. Look, today, if you buy Android or Apple, this is nearly a religion.
Yes.
People can discuss very emotionally which is the better one, and I think this can also happen with car companies.
Yeah. Inject a bit more emotion into that relationship rather than take it out. Yeah. So if we think about that we've spoken a lot about software-defined transformation. How far along are different OEMs on that journey? Do you think some are very far along and some are just starting, or are they all at a similar place at the moment?
They are surely not all at the same place, but I guess they are all quite at the beginning. So if I see which discussions we have with all of the OEMs, where they search for support in ramping up their IT infrastructure, the tooling needed for their products, like changing ALM and PLM systems, things like supporting them in setting up their software organization, things like asking us if we can do BOT, a ramp up of sites. This means that companies like Capgemini, they ramp up complete sites with developers, hundreds, thousands, and after 3 years, the OEM just takes over that site as his own one. So these kind of discussions we have with mainly all the OEMs. So this shows they are not at the end of the journey.
Yeah. Okay. And do you think there's different challenges facing these current OEMs versus the startups, the Teslas and others? Do they face very different challenges?
Yeah, of course. As I said, they have to live with their legacy hardware somehow.
Yeah.
They cannot just make a greenfield development like Tesla did some years ago. So they have to face the fact there are old architectures, ECUs they have to maintain, and parts of the architectures will go also into the next generation. And to be honest, Tesla will face the same.
Yes.
They also will, in some years, they will have the next generations of their car, and they will have exactly the same problems.
Yeah. Interesting. And we've spoken a lot about the services and capabilities of software-defined transformation. But do you think OEMs are imaginative enough in reimagining what a car can be? Especially from a software perspective, it's still a thing that you primarily drive in the same way a phone used to be something you rang people on. A phone has moved on a lot. Do you think OEMs are ambitious enough in reimagining what a vehicle can be?
Yeah. Again, there is not the OEM. There are different OEMs, and
Interesting. Yeah.
they are all different somehow.
Yeah.
So yes, some have definitely started to see this kind of perspective. Others they will follow, I'm sure about.
Right.
maybe some of them even don't think about that today, but nevertheless, I think if they want to stay in the market somehow, they have to do.
Yeah, be more ambitious.
I can see today if you're speaking with young people when they select a car, and this is maybe the time the OEMs still have. Usually they don't have the money to buy all this fancy stuff in the car, and at the end they just buy a quite conventional car with all these electronic goodies inside.
Yeah.
So this means today there is this the OEMs still have time for this kind of transformation, because still a lot of people are they don't want, or they cannot afford all this new stuff.
Yes. Okay. There's
But
still
this
time.
was the same with smartphones. Uh,
Took a long time, really.
it,
Yeah.
it took also some time at the beginning. A normal smartphone, I think it was around 80, 90, 100 euro. And then there was the smartphone, either from Apple or from Samsung or any other
Yeah.
company, and you paid around 1,000 euro.
Yeah. And everybody said you'll never pay that much for a phone.
I never believed that I would ever buy one, but of course I have now since 20 years one.
Yeah. Yes, we are more malleable than we ever thought we were.
Yes.
Um, just finally, then, we've spoken a lot about the OEMs almost becoming software companies. Are there any quick and easy or key lessons that you think they can take from the big software companies, the hyperscalers, whether it's your Microsofts or your Googles, even your Apples?
Yeah, well, the development cycle of software is different from hardware. So there's definitely um,
But Apple must have to manage that.
the setting up a car company, an OEM, as a pure software or as a pure mechanical hardware company, both would be definitely wrong. So in my opinion, for example, the approach of Volkswagen is at least a good way. If I don't think it's the only way to do it, but I think it's a good way. They have still the old brand with all the mechanical engineering, the production, with the development of hardware, with the architecture of the car and all that stuff, and they have the software outsourced into a separate company. Um, and and here they can live the different rules software is following. Of course, CARIAD will learn quite fast. So all these engineers coming from Volkswagen now being in a software company, they will learn quite fast that yeah, they have always to face the fact that there is some kind of I would not call it war, but at least let's say frictions between the ways of the classical OEMs and the software companies. This interfacing issue between the industrialization of the car and the software life cycle, this is present, and also companies like Harriet will feel it.
Yeah.
And maybe they have a better possibility to convince the OEM that in some areas processes have to be changed to yeah to really coexist.
Yes.
It was always it was always trouble in the past.
Yeah. 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 But I suppose when you decouple it, like Carrier, like Volkswagen have, yeah, that must answer some problems, but create a lot more problems in some cases.